Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. Frank here. Cub Cadet forklift. Turning a garden tractor into a forklift. So we've got the 50-year-old Cub Cadet here. If you're new to the channel, past episodes we've set it up so we can drive it in the opposite direction, move the dash and all the controls back here, turn the seat around. And I've currently got the mast on the back of the forklift hooked up. Got the lift cylinder, got the lift mechanism, the cables which go over the top of a pulley assembly here, and then down to what I'm calling the trolley, and this runs in between the mast rails. We will fasten the lift carriage to this, and then we'll operate the cylinder hydraulically. Haven't done the hydraulics yet for that, but that's coming up. So we're going to work on cutting out the rails to support the forks on the carriage backplate. So that's a standoff, another standoff. This will be the rail that engages the hook on the fork, and this is the rail that engages the top hook. This is the bottom hook. Actually, it comes to be engaged at the bottom. Top hook, and this has the notches for the locator pin on the fork. So I'm welding the top rail to the back plate, tacked it at both ends pretty well. I'm trying to straighten it out a little bit. It has a little more than a 1/16 of an inch, which is probably insignificant. Curve to it, warped a little bit from the welds, but I think I've straightened it out at least part of that way. I mean, it's a pretty stiff component with the two pieces welded at 90 degrees, so it's really the thought of bending it is kind of ambitious, but I think, you know, I got a little bit straighter there. So I'm going to go ahead and run some more tacks on it. Then I can take I don't need those anymore, I guess, since I've got it tacked there pretty well. And gradually work on welding it. I'm going to run a bead across the bottom and inside against the back, both places. These are the two tilt cylinders. All right, let's go over to the tractor and see what they look like. So, something like that location will be good. That way I can tilt it back and I can tilt it forward. So I'm somewhere in the middle of the looks like the right size. There's my butchie. Yeah. How you doing? Huh? What are you doing? Come here. Sit. Sit. Yeah. That's a good boy. You're my good puppy. You're not a puppy, Daddy. I'm not a puppy anymore. I'm 6 years old. Where's Brew Brew? Huh? You're a good boy. You're a good boy. Yeah. Sit. 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 Yeah, that's a good boy. Where's Boo Boo? Huh? Did you abandon him outside? Did you? Huh? Did you abandon him outside? So I've got, you saw me weld the top rail with the notches for the latch mechanism. There's a latch mechanism on the top cleat on this fork. Of course, there's no latch mechanism on the bottom. It just slides freely. All the weight is down, so that holds it on. And of course, the latch mechanism is to keep the forks from sliding back and forth, and that's the purpose of these notches in the top rail. I'm just fitting the bottom rail now, making sure there's enough space for the fork to slide easily. There's actually a little bit of extra space at the bottom. And got it clamped in place here at both ends. Marked it with a magic marker here in case I need it. And I'm going to go ahead and tack it in place now. And then lift this fork. This fork is quite heavy, surprisingly heavy, but of course it's an inch thick. So, I mean, I guess it's not surprising. I'm going to say it weighs close to 100 pounds, 75, 80 pounds, something like that. I think the shipping weight was 200 pounds, but I think I include the pallet.
Do I hear one of my doggies? Oh, there's my Butchie. And there's my Brutus.
How you guys doing, huh? How you doing? You're my Brew. You're my Brutus. My good Brew. Yeah, what a good boy. Yeah. Here's my Butchie. You're a good boy. You're a good boy. Okay. Good thing I got all the shavings vacuumed up here. Swept up. Okay, that's the carriage. What you doing, Brew? Are you being a good boy? I think you're being a good boy. You're usually a good boy. What you don't know is you're going to the kennel tomorrow for 3 days. We got a little trip planned starting tomorrow. Of course, by the time you see this, it will have been 2 months ago. So, but yeah, they don't care for the kennel because they don't get the same kind of treats and stuff that they get here, and they don't have as much freedom, and they get to come and go here as they please. All right, so the carriage plate is on. Let me see if I can get the couple of forks slid on there. apparently don't have enough air pressure. I think I've only got 135 psi available here. So it's apparently not enough to lift it any further than that. So I don't have enough air pressure with this system. I think I've only got 135 psi. So, and then I think my valve, my Schrader valve connection down there is leaking a little bit. So I probably can't. But you would think 135 psi over a 3-inch diameter cylinder, which is, you know, going to be 5-6 square inches, would be 500 pounds of lifting force, but clearly not enough to overcome the resistance in the system. But that's just 100 psi, so 120 psi, whatever I've got here. But it does begin to lift the carriage and the forks, so that's a fair start. Got both of the tilt cylinders temporarily installed. I've got to drill holes through the dash pins to put washers and cotter pins through there to hold the back end of the cylinders. And then it's on to the hydraulics. I've certainly got, you know, a big mess in here of wires. I need to spend time fixing all of that, straightening all of that. All the green wires in here for the lights, and I've got to sort that all out. I've damaged some of the wires over here, so I think I'm going to rip it all out, start over with a new lighting system. These red lights, I think I'm going to change them. I can get these same fixtures in amber, so I think that's what I'm going to do, is change them to amber. I might even be able to get them in white, but I think I would like amber lights here, and then add a headlight some other way. I've got to mount a panel on the back of the dash here that's going to stick out probably 8 inches on either side, and I could use that to mount a headlight. And that panel will hold the valve assembly over on the right side. And just for symmetry, I would extend it out past this side as well. But it'll fasten to these bolt holes here and come out. And then previously, in a previous episode, we made a panel to cover this slanted section, and that panel's been sitting here for, I don't know, a month or more. but this is the panel that covers the slanted section. So we've got some work to do. Once I get these, I'm going to clean out the light wiring and then start working on the hydraulics. Once I get the hydraulics hooked up, the hoses run, then I'll know what I can do as far as you know, the covers over these areas. This cover, of course, will be permanent because it will permanent in the sense that it will go on first, and because it'll hold the cylinder valves over here, and then that'll still give me access to the wiring and most of the in all of the hydraulics, really. So to get the hydraulics hooked up, then I can undo this strap. Actually, at this point, the mast is not going anywhere. It's got the forks on it. They will keep it from tipping forward, and the weight's going to keep it from tipping backwards. So I guess at this point, I really don't need this anymore. So there you go. Take this off. Kind of was getting in my way anyway. Okay. All right, so that's going to wrap up this episode. Good progress on the lift mechanism, forks, and the carriage assembly. All that's ready to go. Come back and paint it. I'm going to paint all this black. I ran out of paint. I'm using the Rust-Oleum Rust Reformer primer. It's a good black primer, and so I'll use that to paint everything, and we'll come back next week working on the hydraulics, clean up the electrical wiring, and start working on connecting these cylinders. I do need to drill the holes for the pins, cotter pins on the back end of the tilt cylinders, but we're closing in on it. Should have an operating lift here in a couple more weeks, and then we have to shift. I have to shift focus to the counterweight system, and I've been thinking about that. I really haven't decided exactly what I'm going to do. I don't want to make it any longer than I need to, but the longer it is, the less weight necessary out front. The more you stick it out front, the more benefit there is to it. But I think I'm going to try to keep it pretty close to the grill of the tractor and not make it look too goofy. So anyway, that's the plan. We'll come back next week and work on that stuff. So thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next week.